Well, this is something different. I guess maybe because of the cutbacks, they're putting reservations on the post here for the next several weeks. We got the people before us, they're in and out. Us are in and out, and the next people coming, they're in and out. So they plan way ahead when things can be filled up for 6 months in advance. The dogs are out here playing again this morning. My son's in the RV cooking up his meal, and I'm just enjoying a beautiful sunrise here. The park ranger, or camp host, there is none here. The water's turned off, and the camp host is the guy that bounces between this and 2 other parks here, or campgrounds, along 410. So he shows up once, maybe twice a day as he makes a circle around all 3 of them. And so far everything's going on just fine. This has been a real pleasant campground. We don't have anybody making high school bonfires or playing their boo-hoo music louder than needs to be. And there's no constant barking dogs or screaming kids or yelling adults. It's been extremely peaceful, the way it should be when you go camping in public lands or national forests. So kudos to the people out here, while we were here at least, acting like civilized people out to enjoy nature. So now I see my son's done, so I'm going to go in and cook up my breakfast. Spirit seems to be doing better with the anti-inflammatory pills I got from the vet. And when we get home, I take her into my vet I've had for 25 years and have him check for a second opinion on her leg. But I know veterinarians mean to do their best, but sometimes I think you run across 1 or 2 that are like lawyers. They feed on your fears, they feed on your emotions, and before you know it, you're spending thousands of dollars. So I'm keeping a very close eye on her. Where'd she go? There she is. She's hiding behind that rock. And we'll just see. I'll weigh what the next vet says and make a decision. I just hate to put her under the knife at such a young age. The other vet said, oh, she'll have arthritis and blah, 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 this long time down the line. And that's all, hypothetical, I think. I've had dogs all my life, and they've always recovered and lived long, full lives. So I'll go on what my life knowledge is and what the vets have to say today. Well, it's the next morning here at Soda Springs Campgrounds on the east side of 410 in Washington State. Yesterday it was in the 80s. It's supposed to be just as hot today. The water here in the campgrounds is turned off, so it's bring your own. The girls are out exercising. They've had their morning breakfast and relieved themselves as usual. I got my coffee going, and my son is inside cooking up his breakfast. They're wondering where he went. I told him to close the door if he wants any privacy cooking or anything. So we're going to sit down and think about what we're going to do today, do a little exploring here, and then tomorrow we're heading home. This is just a little short trip together. And that's the second day here. And we're walking up the trail, heading upriver just to get a view. And then we'll be coming back down this way, heading towards Sulphur Springs, or whatever they call this block. Well, went up a little farther. Really not many places to get down to the river. It's pretty overgrown now with all these weeds and stuff. You can see the whole hillside behind me burned to nothing but a bunch of black matchsticks. Luckily it didn't jump the river over to the campgrounds. But this whole ridge line here on the other side of the river is burnt to a crisp. We just have these plants here coming over and reestablishing themselves. We've made it. We're here standing at the precipice of Soda Springs, which, to my recollection, sure looks a lot like Iron Springs and Mount Rainier, as far as the coloration and the stuff goes. So, take a look. Tell me what you think, if you've been to both places. Here we are, Soda Springs, what the campground is named after. Let's carefully walk through all the ruts down here, and you can see it's still quite active. It's just bubbling away. You have all this iron look, kind of a real pretty blue tinge of algae and whatever other bacteria might be around the edges. But yeah, it's quite a mess. You can look. It goes way back there in the woods. But that's it. This is Soda Springs. And here's the location. It looks like they carved this hole out. And at one time probably this was pretty active. But now the other hole over here, natural one, is bubbling away. So let's follow this. Lots of huge rocks and roots you got to be careful of, or you're going to end up in Soda Springs. Oh, here we go. Kind of mucky here. Then we go out, and we're right out here to the river. Looks like people have been making a little pond here to cool off in. Look through there. Yeah. So let's walk over here, see if we can see more of Soda Springs. There's some big old trees out here. And this seems to be the end of it. You can see there's quite a few footprints in there. Let's see if I can not add my own, but look at some of these. Can't quite make them out. Well, we continued to follow the trail down past Soda Springs, and it just kind of goes through all this burnt leftover timber from the forest fire, and then it just kind of hangs a right and takes off up in that hill there. I think that's mostly a game trail. because looks like the main trail, if there was one here, just disappears in all the burnt trees and fallen trees. So we're stopping here. Pretty impressive. The fire went clear along the ridge here. So we're gonna head back to Soda Springs, cross the wooden bridge, go back to camp. Here's Soda Springs once more. Looks like they had a main pot here that's boiling a little, but over there is a natural mud pot that's boiling quite a bit. Here's a kiosk of the spring Chinook salmon runs that this river has. One of the 5 true salmon species of the Pacific Northwest. Boy, it'd be great to hook into one of those. But sometimes you'll get the red ones, the jacks, you know, too young to propagate because they're immature. They just horny as hell, I guess, want to get up the river. But yeah, I can see fishing in this river if I had the equipment. This is a wonderful campground, one that I would come back again in the future. And behind me, they have these picnic areas spread out throughout the campgrounds. Some are totally open, like this one. Most of them are. We'll go inside. Now this one's pretty damn fancy. The others have just gravel floors. This one has a cement floor and a huge fire pit. It's the only one here in the campgrounds that has this that I've seen walking through the area. But this is the old time camping that I remember in the 50s and 60s. So I'm glad to see there's still remnants of a better time that people haven't defaced, destroyed, or burned down. Places like this, I truly believe, need protection and maintenance to upkeep. But that's just me. Well, it's the end of the weekend. My son went home. He just left. And it's quiet as a church mouse out here in the woods. All you hear is the river in the distance, and once in a while a car going east and west on 410. Girls are having a good time here. They're relaxing. And we got one more night here, and we're taking off early tomorrow morning when we wake up to head home ourselves. So a lot's happening. The day after we get home, I take Spirit in to see another vet for another evaluation, a second look, and I'll have to decide what I'm going to do about her injured leg. She still favors it, and it's been a week now that she's been limping on it. So I got decisions to make. Anyway, like we always say here at Doggone RV'N, the girls and I all wish you happy trails and woof woof. See you later.